All right, let's talk about cracking one of the trickiest certs out there, the AWS Certified Developer Associate. If you're looking at that giant syllabus and thinking, where do I even start? Well, you're in the right place. We're about to give you the blueprint. Look, if you've opened up that official exam guide, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a wall of services and concepts. It's totally normal to feel a bit overwhelmed. And yeah, it's a tough exam, but here's the thing. It's absolutely 100% beatable if you have the right plan. So the whole point of this explainer is to cut right through all that noise. In the next few minutes, we're going to turn that anxiety into a clear, confident, and most importantly, actionable plan. So where do we begin? We start by getting to know the exam's DNA. See, everything you're going to be tested on, it all falls into just 4 core areas. And understanding these is your first real step to taking control. Now, look at this. This isn't just some random list. This is basically a map that AWS gives you. They're literally telling you where to focus. Development with AWS services is the biggest piece of the pie at 32%. That means writing code that actually uses their services is priority number 1. Then you've got security, deployment, and troubleshooting filling out the rest. Just think of this chart as your first big clue on how to spend your precious study time. So really, the big takeaway here is this. Use these percentages as your guide. You don't have to learn everything equally. Just knowing where to pour your energy gives you a massive, massive strategic advantage right from the get-go. Okay, so now that we know what to focus on, we can talk about how. We're going to use a really powerful little strategy I called the 60-30-10 rule. It's super simple, but it is incredibly effective for studying efficiently. Here's the secret sauce. You're going to spend the majority of your time, a full 60%, on the absolute must-know, highest priority services. Then another 30% goes to those really important supporting services, and only 10% on everything else. This is how you stop the exam from feeling like this giant, overwhelming beast. So what actually goes into each of these buckets? These guys right here, these are the heavy hitters. This is your 60% bucket. You've got Lambda, API Gateway, and DynamoDB. That's basically the holy trinity of modern serverless apps. Then you have CloudFormation and SAM, the serverless application model, which is how you define and deploy all that stuff. And finally, IIM for security, and CloudWatch and X-Ray for monitoring. They are woven into practically every question. You have to know these inside and out. It's non-negotiable. All right, next up, your 30% bucket. This is the supporting cast. Services like SQS, the simple queue service, and SNS, the simple notification service, along with EventBridge, they are absolutely critical for building event-driven, loosely coupled applications, which is a huge theme on this exam. Then you've got S3, your workhorse for object storage, Secrets Manager for keeping your credentials safe, and Code Pipeline, which is the heart of any good CI/CD pipeline. These services are what glue all the core components together. But you know what? Just knowing which services to study isn't quite enough. The real key, the thing that separates a pass from a fail, is understanding the core concepts behind them. This is where we go from just memorizing facts to really understanding how to build stuff on AWS. This is where the magic happens. It's not enough to know what AWS Lambda is. You have to understand what stateless means and why cold starts are a thing. For DynamoDB, you've got to know the critical difference between a query and a scan. For API Gateway, it's all about controlling traffic with throttling. And for IAM, it's about how policies and roles actually work to lock things down. This is the deep knowledge the exam is really testing for. Let's just quickly zero in on one of those ideas. You'll hear this a lot: stateless versus stateful. A stateless service, like Lambda, treats every single request like it's the first time it's ever seen it. It doesn't remember anything from the past. And that's exactly what allows it to scale like crazy. It's a fundamental pillar of serverless. Okay, here's another one of those $50 words you'll see: idempotency. What on earth does that mean? It's simple, really. It just means doing something once has the exact same result as doing it 10 times. Think about hitting a buy button. You want to make sure that if the request gets sent twice by accident, the customer only gets charged once. Getting this concept right is absolutely vital for building systems that don't fall over when something unexpected happens. And speaking of things not falling over, from that deployment domain, you absolutely have to know your deployment strategies. Blue/green is a classic you'll see everywhere. You have your current live environment, let's call it blue. You deploy your brand new code to a totally identical separate environment, we'll call that green. Once you've tested green and you're sure it's good to go, you just flip a switch and all the traffic starts hitting the new version. It's a brilliant way to deploy with almost zero risk and no downtime. Okay, we've covered the domains, the 60-30-10 strategy, and those deep dive concepts. So let's wrap this all up into a final, simple roadmap that you can literally start using today. So here it is, your 4-step action plan. Step 1, get those 4 core domains and their percentages burned into your brain. Step 2, apply that 60-30-10 rule to focus your time like a laser. Step 3, and this is the most important one, always connect the services you're learning back to their core concepts. And finally, step 4, shift your whole mindset. You're not studying for a test anymore. You're learning how to build real solutions with these tools. So, there you have it. The path is clear, the complexity, it's manageable. This exam isn't about memorizing a dictionary of services. It's about deeply understanding how the core pieces fit together to solve actual problems. You've got the blueprint. The only question left is, are you ready to build?